Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I have another monitor solution for your laptop from Mobile Pixels. This is their 2 Plus portable mobile laptop monitor, and they have a variety of different offerings from additional screens to 2 additional screens on their website. You can go and check them out. What makes them unique and what's either going to be successful or kind of fall flat on its face is the method that you use to attach some of these devices to your machine. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. The 2 Plus is a 13.3 inch display, 1080p, and apparently it's 1.3 pounds and about 1/4 of an inch thick at its widest point. And of course it'll work with Windows, Mac, it'll work with your Nintendo Switch, Samsung DeX for your phone, that sort of thing. There are a few other features, but let's go ahead and pop this box open and see what we get on the inside. It is worth pointing out that this does range anywhere from $400 to $550, depending if it's on sale or not. And there are different accessory kits that you can also get with it as well. This should, as far as I know, just be the base monitor. That's a good sign. I am being told that there is a setup guide where I can scan the QR code or visit the link. So definitely thinking of the customer experience. And here we go. This is the attachment guide. So let's just talk about the elephant in the room here. This attaches with magnets. Now, there's some concerns I immediately have with magnets on a computer. The biggest problem, just sticking to the product's point of view, is that the magnets, and they've given you this little template to use, is you can only use it on one laptop. And if you know me, I have a couple that I would probably want to use this with. And while it might not be as elegant as a clamp-on solution, that means that I have to choose the laptop that I'm going to forever use these magnets with. And then, of course, if I want to use another one, I have to take off the magnets, find some adhesive tape, revitalize the adhesive, and then I would have to keep going. So the other part that I'm a little worried about is how strong those magnets have to be, or should they be, to hold a monitor that's about 1.3 pounds. I got laptops that are lighter than 1.3 pounds. So that is a bit of a curiosity. So we have the monitor in the box, we've got a cable, and then we have some extra adhesive, which is good, I guess, but the same problem still remains. And then you must use, with the mounting template, and then there, of course, are your magnets in the box. So if we look at this here, this obviously appears to be the back. This appears to be what would attach with your magnets. And then, of course, we have the screen that should just pull out somehow. And I think, there it goes. So it would open like this. You've got a good amount of tilt there, and then it can swing all the way to the rear, so the output of this monitor could be on the back of your laptop display. And I have to say, this part feels all right. Unfortunately, there's not a real way to use it unattached, at least not super well, unless you like fold the stand back like this, in which case, yeah, that kind of works. So if you wanted a vertical monitor, you can run it like this, and then if you want a horizontal monitor, you can obviously have the back part here work as a kickstand. So here's an X1 Carbon Gen 5 I'm going to try attaching this thing to. Not very aesthetically pleasing to have 4 magnets sticking on the back of your machine like that. There's just no way to get around that. The bottom is hitting the table, so because this thing is slightly thicker than the lid, like I could move this up a little bit more and not have installed it along the bottom edge, but we're just eventually fighting a problem that we're going to have no matter what we do. Okay, I've done one more install with these magnets to see if we can get this thing to play a little bit nicer. So yeah, we still have the tilt problem, but it's a little bit further back. I'm a little worried still about the stress that that's putting on this X1 carbon hinge. So we pull out the screen here, and it turns on, and if we shove the whole thing over a bit, we get the full access to the screen here, and that seems to work as intended. And then if we want, we do have the clearance here along this edge to flip this back over on itself for what they call their presentation mode. As you can see here, looks like I might have accidentally opened a menu somewhere when I did that. And then of course you can slide that back over. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so after doing a bit of testing, here is kind of where I am sitting with this, and my opinions are mixed. First things first, let's get the positive up front. This seems to be pretty well built. The screen is actually a really nice, sharp, bright panel. I don't really have any concerns with the actual screen itself, and I think overall that is going to serve you just fine. You do have some controls and menus on the back available with these buttons that you can navigate to customize it as you see fit. The cable that's included is also a nice intention because it does have that USB-A to USB-C connector literally built in, so you're not going to lose it, meaning that it's going to be compatible with pretty much anything that can run a USB 3.0 display port all the way up to USB Type-C. So in that regards, that works fine as well. You know what? Even though it's not aesthetically pleasing, the magnetic attachment system does work as intended. It snaps on there and it's not going to fall off. I am a little worried about how this might impact a hinge over time. That is of course a bit of a concern. The good news is because it grounds out on the back, it should be able to alleviate some of the stress. The pull-out system pretty much works every single time as intended. And then a good firmer yank does get it out and open like so. Now, with all that out of the way, we do need to talk about a few other points. Honestly, I would not remove this from the back of a laptop, which means that the magnetic attachment, I don't know, is absolutely necessary because it essentially doubles the thickness of this machine. Like, the X1 Carbon is, of course, a relatively thin unit, but it is also pretty standard in terms of thickness as well these days. And as you can see, it's practically double the thickness. So if you don't mind that, I would leave this on because when you take it off, you have to contend with a couple of things. The first thing you have to contend with is there's no nice way to say that having these 4 stainless steel looking magnets on the back of your laptop is a little bit unsightly. It just doesn't look good, and I think for many people that is something that you're gonna consider. It just kind of detracts from the overall design. The other issue that you need to consider is that if you carry anything that is magnetic, then you do have to, of course, be kind of aware that these magnets are, of course, going to attract and do their job very nicely and hold all sorts of things. Now, on the other hand, that might actually be a feature for you where, hey, attaching something to the back of a laptop screen while it's not in use, like a pair of scissors, if you're a fabric designer, is actually not a bad idea. Now, you might think I'm being sarcastic, but at the same time, you cannot lie that there is a bit of convenience to that. Now, the paperclip thing, yeah, definitely a bit more inconvenient. So the other thing that we have to talk about is price. This does retail for a fair chunk of money, at least when you convert it from American to Canadian dollars. You are looking at the cost of a essentially inexpensive laptop. So if you're buying this, it needs to fit the need exactly. And if it doesn't, then I think you will find that there are other avenues that are a little bit more cost effective, that will be a little bit more pleasing to the eye. So overall, I know that's kind of a mixed opinion, but that's really how I feel about this thing. There is a fair few things that are going for it, like generally. Like, I can't fault that it is easy to use. I can't fault that it stays attached. I can't fault that the panel is good. I can't fault that the cable that they've included is a well thought out design. It's just, if you have more than one machine, if you're going to want to run it off and the magnets are a problem, those are things that you need to take into account, as well as the price that this is being offered at. I want to thank Mobile Pixels again for sending this to me for testing. I think that while it is an interesting experiment, it would not be something that I would personally use, but I would be curious to know if you would use it. So if you would or if you wouldn't, I want to hear your ideas and your thoughts in the comment section down below. Once again, this was sent to me for the purpose of this review. It was not personally purchased, and my opinions remain my own. I'm not being financially compensated. If you did enjoy this content and would like to see more mobile monitors and laptops like this one that you've seen here, I would encourage you to make sure that you're connecting with the channel and doing all the things that the triangle in the corner says that you should do. Thank you so much, and once again, I hope to see you next time.